this is Russ. Yeah, I got another bike to show you guys. Hey, what am I wearing? Yeah, this is the inner liner for the XWing helmet. Yeah, it's kind of cold out here. 52 degrees out here right now. Let me show you what we have here. Take a look at this. This is the Magicycle Deer 20 2.0. Now you might be saying, hey, this bike looks awfully familiar. Kind of looked like my yellow one, right? Yeah, that was the Magicycle Deer 20. Some people still call it the Deer Mini, but it is the Deer 20 2.0. Yeah, this is a new color. This is the Sierra Blue. Yeah, let's see what it has on here. Well, I've made some additional changes to the bike, as I usually do. Let's go through the changes real quick first so that you know what's not included with the bike. I have a front basket, which you can get from Magicycle, of course. It's an option, all right? I also added a water bottle cage and a water bottle there. I usually just zip tie that to the front basket. I moved the front headlight to the basket, okay? Basket usually comes with an extension cord, so you can move it further up. I added an XWing mirror, yeah, the left-handed side view mirror. This is a new one from them. Added that to it. I added a cell phone mount, as I usually do, and I added my bell. It does come with a bell. Sounds like a doorbell now. Yeah, I added one there. So that is the only changes I've made to the bike. Other than that, it is stock. Let's talk about this bike. Let's tell you what it's got. Now, a lot of the things that came on the Deer 20 is still on this Deer 20 2.0, okay? But they did upgrade some things. So let's go ahead and go through those. So, yeah. So essentially, you've got a 1,000 watt motor down here that peaks out at 1,800 watts. It's got 100 Newton meters, so you know it's going to go over the hill with no problem, all right? We'll do that a little later on the test. The battery is, again, integrated into the down tube right down here. That comes off real easily when you want to charge it, or you can charge it right there on that charge port right there. And that is a 52 volt, 20 amp hour lithium ion battery, okay? Now, they estimate the range at 120 miles, but we all know that that's kind of hard to achieve unless you weigh very little and have easy riding paths. Now, the sensor is a torque sensor and cadence sensor. Now, we've seen this on the 2.0 iterations before, and all you have to do is, if you take a look over here, there's an S over there. If I push this button here in the middle, it says I. Watch this. Switches to T. Now it's on torque sensor. Push and hold that button again. Switches to S. Now it's a cadence sensor. So it'll jump back and forth depending on what you do over here. Now, you might notice too that the throttle has moved to the right, the left-hand side. Rather than a typical twist throttle, they now have a left-handed thumb throttle. And the reason for that is because they changed out the gear shifter, okay? So the gear shifter now is an 8-speed Shimano gear shifter that has a trigger shifter. So there's a trigger shifter here, and if you look way down over here, there's another trigger shifter here, okay? Let me see if I can get a better angle for you here. Maybe you can see it better this way. Yeah, so because of that trigger shifters there, it takes up a little bit more space, so a half twist throttle on the right-hand side had to move and become a left-handed thumb throttle. It's okay, you just have to get used to it, okay? All right. What else did we do to the bike here? Well, that's about all the changes I did. I put a bell, I put a side view mirror, put a cell phone mount on it, and I put the front basket and the water bottle. Other than that, it is pretty much stock. Oh, this thing here, people always ask me, what is that thing? Yeah, that's a can of mace. All right, so what else did they do to, that's something I put on there, okay? The pedal assist levels. You can vary the pedal assist levels from anywhere from a 0 through 5 to a 0 through 9, or a 1 through 5, 1 through 7, 1 through 9, whichever way you like it. I usually leave mine at 1 to 9 because I like the in-between numbers. It is your typical color display. It's the same display that we see on most of the Magicycle bikes. You do have the ability to do a cruise control. Yeah, they call it something else. I can't recall. It'll probably come back to me in a minute here. So it does have cruise control, which you can turn on or turn off in the advanced function of the menu. And again, if you're interested in what the advanced function of the menus look like, I do have a video of the menu and how to change the advanced functions. I'll put a link in the description of the video so you can see that video. Basically, it has everything in there except for the cruise control function. I think they call it pace. There you go, came back to me. Pace on or pace off. It comes as off, so if you want to turn on the cruise control, you go to the pace setting in the advanced function and turn it on. Okay, so it's either way. And to turn on the cruise control, all you have to do is hold the throttle down for at least 8 seconds, and then it will go into cruise control. Okay, and to cancel cruise control, you either tap the brakes or start pedaling. All right. What else does it have? Well, of course, it comes with the charger. It's a 3 amp fast charger. Frame size is 18 inches. The wheel sizes are 20-inch tires by 4-inch. So these are Kenda Crusade tires. Kenda Crusades are very aggressive tires. If you take a look at the pattern there, that's really good for any type of off-roading that you might want to do. It's big knobby tires there. Maximum payload is 450 pounds, so you can carry quite a bit of stuff on here. Okay, the bike itself is 92.3 pounds with this 26-inch version of this bike, or 83 pounds with this bike, which is a 20-inch version of the bike. Okay, so the only real major difference is the Deere 26, of course, is 26 inches by 4-inch fat tires. It's a larger frame. You can get that either in a step over or step through model. This is, of course, the step through version of the Deere 20 2.0. All right, so what other things? Of course, you get a front headlight right over here. That is the standard Magicycle front headlight. And of course, you get the rear tail light as well, which of course is your brake light too. Hydraulic brakes. The hydraulic brakes this time are made by Bengo. We've seen the Bengo brakes before on Magicycle bikes. They do very well, no problems with that. The rotors for the hydraulic brakes is 180 millimeter front and rear rotors. Okay. Seat post diameter is 33.9 millimeters. The length is 250 millimeters. So is that high enough for me? A little bit short. I think if it was 300 millimeters, it would be better for me, because as you know, I do it very, very high. I like getting a good leg extension. But for the average person, yeah, should be fine. So that is the bike. So really, is it worth the upgrade? Well, I think the ability to jump from torque sensor and cadence sensor back and forth is probably worth the thing. Now, you do have front suspension, okay, front fork suspensions, and of course, with all the Deere models, you have rear suspension as well. So this whole back section will move up and down for you. So it's a full suspension bike. It's nice. I like the color. This is a very nice color on the bike. They still have the yellow. They still have dawn yellow if you wanted it in dawn yellow. But of course, being that this is the new version for me, I says, give me the blue one. Yep. Go on their website, take a look and see what colors are available. They have different color options. Some sell out fast, some of them are still available. So you have to kind of see what's available at the time, okay? I'll put the price of the bike that's currently being sold for up on a graphic up here so you can see what the sale price of the bike is at this moment. So keep your eyes open for sale prices, because sometimes sale prices do happen. And as I'm doing this review, we're coming close to Thanksgiving, so you know, Black Friday deals are always happening too. Keep your eyes open, see what's available, okay? What about the saddle? It's the standard Magicycle saddle, and that's fine. It's got some cush to it. It's not the best in the world, but it's acceptable. It's not so bad. It's wider than some others. I don't think I will be changing it out. I think I'll probably leave what I have right there. It seems to do well. By the way, front baskets are not interchangeable from brand to brand, okay? So if you like the look of this basket and you want to put it on your brand, it may not fit because they don't use the same mounting holes. All right, I've been asked that many times, so I figured I better bring that up here. But yeah, this is the typical Magicycle baskets for the front. I like them very much. I like putting baskets on all my bikes. It gives me some ability to carry things when I need to. Yeah. What about the gear ratio? Let me see if I have that information here for you. I think I do. Let me double check my notes here. Yeah, so basically they went to a 53T chain ring. So that's gone up. Yep. The freewheel in the back is a 13 by 28T. Okay, you got a Shimano Altus derailleur. And like I mentioned, it is an 8-speed system. So with the larger chain ring here, we should have a little bit less ability for ghost pedaling. So that should be good. All right, folks, let's take it out on the road. Let's see how it does. Stay tuned. All right, let's give this bike a ride. Let's see what it does. Yeah. So I have this currently set up for pedal assist level 3. I have this all at factory settings right now, just so that you know. Okay. So I have it on cadence sensor. So I have it on pedal assist level 5 right now. So I've just moved myself to gear number 8. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. Let's go to gear number 7. Yeah, you don't need to move your leg much and you'll move on a cadence sensor. You should probably move it to torque sensor. We'll do torque sensor after we pass this light. You know, the nice part with this bike is you can jump back and forth between cadence sensor and torque sensor, just they push a button. So I just moved the I button on the pedal assist level controller, moved the I button, I moved it to T on the display screen, which is torque sensor now. So based on how hard I push down on the pedal, it should give me an appropriate amount of movement there. I'm going to move over a little bit. Let me speed up first here. I've got a car behind me. I don't want him having to wait on account of me. So yeah, it looks like the guy's still staying behind me. I don't know why. I'm doing about 17 miles an hour. It says 22. That's because it's picking up the car. It's gonna get me. Yeah, 15. Okay, so that thing said 15, while my display screen was showing about 16 to 16.5. So again, once again, it seems like most of these display screens are maybe 1 to 1.5 miles per hour faster than the reality actually is. I also set this up for pace. Pace is your cruise control. So if you go into the advanced settings, and I do have a video specifically how to change these things. I'm not going to do an additional video because it's the same display screen they've always had. So I'll put a link in the description so that you can see that video on how to change advanced settings. Now, that video was made before they added the pace setting. Pace is, again, your cruise control where you can turn it on or turn it off. But you're going to look for a thing that says pace on or off. So if you want cruise control, you're going to put it on. All right. I'm going to be turning here, but I've got kids on bikes and walking, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I've got cars, so I'm just going to signal, let them know that I'm going to take a left. So I'm just going to wait a little bit here. All right. Okay. Too much traffic. Got kids, got cars. Yeah, I'm wearing my XWing helmet with the winter liner on there. The winter liner is like a liner that goes underneath the helmet, but it also has like earmuffs. That's really coming in handy right now. It was 51 degrees when I left the house to do this ride and parts of this review. I'm splitting up the review, okay? So I'm doing the ride first, and then I'm gonna show you the rest of the bike inside the house. Of course, you probably would have seen that first before seeing this section of it. We're doing things a little bit backwards today. Somebody left their bike here. Why'd they do that? It's not, I don't think it's even locked up. So anyway, so this Deere 20 2.0 version is really the same as the original Deere 20, except it's got a better motor on it. It's got a better motor on it, and it's got the ability to jump from torque sensor and cadence sensor. So it is the upgraded version. Now they also made some additional changes. On the right hand side now, they have an 8-speed gear setting here, and you've got trigger shifters now, okay? And then the brakes are made by Bengo. And on the left hand side, you have a thumb throttle, okay? So unlike the original Deere, that was a half twist throttle that was on the right hand side, it's now a thumb throttle on the left hand side, something that you should be aware of. You know, it's no real big deal. You just have to get used to it, really. I mean, if you've never had an e-bike before, it probably won't make any difference to you because whatever you start out with, you're gonna feel that that's the way it is, right? But if you've had an e-bike before and you've had like a twist throttle on your right-hand side, well, you don't have that here now. The reason is because a lot of times the manufacturers that have these gear shifters on the right side that are trigger shifters, there's no more space to put a throttle over there. So it's got to go to the left-hand side, and typically on the left-hand side you'll put a thumb throttle type rather than a twist throttle there. Now you might know where I'm heading at this point. Yeah, we're heading to the hill test. I want to see how it does on hill. Now, previous generation of the Deere 20 made the Deere 20 the king of the hill. All right, the only time it ever got beat out was when we were using that other bike that does 40 miles an hour when it's unlocked. Yeah, it's not a fair test at that point because obviously it's so far more powerful, and not everyone's gonna want a 40 mile per hour bike. So considering your standard class 2, class 3 bikes, the Deere 20 was the king of the hill. Okay. Now this is the 2.0 version of the Deere 20, so I fully expect that this should do just as well. Now looking at the old specification, I believe it said something like 15.4 miles per hour going over the hill. All right, we'll see how it does today. Now I did charge the battery to full. We haven't really ridden it that much. So we should be getting some pretty decent results. I'm already sniffling already. It is cold, folks. This very well could be one of my last rides that I'm gonna do, because I've always said as we approach 50 miles an hour, 50 degrees, I usually will give up at that point. So, let's see if we can pass here. On your left. All right. So the only thing I have on the bike that might add a little bit of weight is I have my Insta360 camera inside a bag. It's on a basket. That's what you hear bouncing around. It's bouncing around in the basket right now. And okay, car's stopping for me so I can go. Say thank you to them. So that's what you're hearing that's bouncing around. It's the thing bouncing around in the basket. I also have a half a bottle of water on the bottle in the basket, on the side of the basket, I should say. I zip tie that to the baskets. I typically do that if there's no bottle cages, bosses for the bottle cages. So I'll usually just zip tie it to the basket. Now the basket is the one that Magicycle supplies. they are not interchangeable. People always ask me about that, if they can put the basket on another brand, and the answer is no. It's not interchangeable. Thank you. So yeah, the companies don't have a standardized mounting hole system from brand to brand. So what works on one brand may not work on another brand. So just so that you know, okay? I repositioned the front headlight to the front of the basket, and there's usually an extension cord that comes with the basket so that you can do that. Thank you. Now, I'm zipping through here a little bit faster than I probably should, but the only reason is because it's cold out here. I want to finish this this test. I got my full gloves on, okay? It's not the half gloves. I need the full gloves. I have 2 sweatshirts on right now, okay? 2 hooded sweatshirts on. I have my yellow safety vest on. I have full long-legged pants on. I've got my X-Needle helmet on, which is rated to 28 miles per hour. And I've got the inner liner on with the little earmuff type things on there. And that's helping to keep me a little bit warmer. But, you know, like I said, anything under 50 degrees, it's a little too cold for me. I mean, you get the wind blowing up against you. It's a little bit much after a while. All right, so what we're gonna do when we do this hill test, for those who have not been with me before, is we're gonna get to this end of this bridge, and we'll stop there. And we'll put the pedal assist level to full maximum. I changed the pedal assist to 1 through 9, which means there's 9 levels of pedal assist. Now, it shouldn't do any difference to the throttle, but just so there's no question, I'm gonna move it to the full 9, meaning we're gonna do the biggest amount that it can do, if you're pedaling, but we're not gonna pedal. So we're gonna throttle up this hill, and we're gonna see how fast the miles per hour is at the peak of the hill. Now, typically, it's gonna start dropping after a point, and then we'll see how far it drops to, and that'll be our number, okay? So let's do that. Yeah, sniffling all over. So we'll stop here. I'll angle down a little bit, so hopefully you can see it. I don't know if you can or you can't. So we're at 0. We'll put the PAS to 9, and let's go. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I want to show you some of the front too. So we're going up pretty fast. 21, 22. We're starting to drop at this point. We're near the apex already. And that squirrel's playing games with us. 16, 15.2, 15.3, 15.2. So pretty much almost identical to the original Deer 20. I think the original Deer 20 did 15.4 at one time, but you know, you're talking 0.2. So is it really that much different? I would say no, not really. It's pretty much the same. All right. I'm not gonna take us into the other forest preserve. I'm gonna turn around and head back. It's gonna be too cold, I don't wanna do it. So we're gonna switch it and turn back around, just kind of hopping off and going back the other way. All right. So there you go. I would pretty much say they're pretty much the same. Yeah. So what are you getting as a benefit? Supposedly the motor is a little bit more powerful. I don't know if it really is that much more powerful than the original Deer, but it does do this. It allows you to switch the feeling of the sensor, okay? You can do either a torque sensor or you can do a cadence sensor out of this with just a push of the button. It's just the middle of the button, middle part of the button here on the pedal assist controller. So which of these two should you get if both are available? Well, that would be up to you. I would say performance seems to be pretty much the same as far as I can tell. The one benefit though you do have, you do get one extra gear, all right? You go from 7 gears to 8 gears. So the benefits I see is trigger shifters, 8 speeds versus 7, if that makes any difference to you. potentially better gear ratios because of the chain ring being changed out to a bigger chain ring. The rear is still, I would have liked to see if that thing went to 11T, but it's still not, all right? But at least they changed the front. That helps as well. But overall, performance seems very similar to the other one, but you do add the ability to jump from torque sensor or cadence sensor. So these are some features that are beneficial to some people, but not to everybody. If you are one who prefers a cadence sensor where you don't have to pedal really hard and you still get quite a bit of performance, then the other version may be just as good for you. So I guess it's a decision. Now I don't know whether the original version will remain available or if they're gonna just sell out of those and then just offer the 2.0 version or not. But there's a lot of similarity. I mean, I feel pretty much all the other feel of this feels just like the Deere 20 original was. So you didn't change anything in terms of frame geometries or anything like that I can tell. It pretty much feels exactly the same as the other bike. This was the yellow one that I had from them. But the added features make it interesting. It's something that some people may want to do. I mean, there's times where you may feel that you want to feel the pedaling more, then you just switch to torque sensor. And there's times that you say, I'm a little tired out, I don't really want to do that, but I still want to pedal a little bit, then maybe a cadence sensor makes more sense at that point, right? So everything is all up to you, how you want to deal with it. Yeah, I think I'm going to change the pedal assist levels on the bike from what it comes with. I feel it's a little bit too powerful for me at this point. I think I may want to lower that setting a little bit. All of this stuff is easily done in the menu of the display screen. Everything's in English, okay? There are display screens, if you've never bought an e-bike before, that have what they call P settings. They'll say P1, P2, P3, P4. And if you don't know what each of these P numbers mean and what they do, changing anything there could really be disastrous, all right? So, and nobody really memorizes that stuff. But on the display screens that Magicycles used on their bikes, it's all in English. You know, it'll say, oh, you want to change the speed, here, do this. You want to change your assist levels, you know, it'll say it in English. It's not a P number, okay? That makes it a lot easier. Let's change the gears here. Yeah, this is on 6, let's go to 4. Yeah, even 4 seems more powerful than I need it to be at this point. There's a guy on a scooter. Everyone's got their thing, right? He's a scooter guy, I'm an e-bike guy. Although I've had 2 scooters over time. Let's go this way. So what's my thoughts on this new Deere 20 2.0? Yeah, it's nice, of course. It's exactly the same as the other bike, in my opinion, except for the addition of those features that we mentioned already. I was not expecting anything different. I did not expect a loss of performance or anything. I figured if anything, it should be an improvement. It's not going to be anything less. And it proves to be true. It's exactly like the Deere 20 was with those added features. So, yeah, it's a good bike. I could recommend this to people. You know, if you're looking for a 20-inch by 4-inch fat tire bike with all of this, all of these features on it, torque, cadence sensors, 9 levels of pedal assist if you want it to be. You can make it like 5 if you wanted to too. It's up to you. You decide. I like the in-between numbers, so I go 1 through 9 usually. Hydraulic brakes on here, full suspension from front fork to rear forks, rear suspension, I mean. Yeah, I mean, it basically has everything anyone would really need to have on an e-bike. Current pricing is $24.99 from last I looked at it. But there's discounts codes in the affiliate link. So if you're interested in one of these bikes, go ahead and go to the affiliate link that's in my description of the video before you place your order. That helps me out. Doesn't cost you any extra, but it does give me a little commission. And it lets Magicycle know that you're watching the Russ is Right videos, and it helps me get additional bikes for future reviews. Now, front basket doesn't come with it as an option. I did add it. I basically just take it off of all my old bikes. It came off of the other 20-inch, the Deer 20 bike. Came off of that, and I put it on here. And I do that for all my bikes, you know, when I sell off one and bring in another one. And I sold off the original 20 because I knew that this one would eventually come in. You have different color options available. This one is their, I think they call it Sierra Blue. They have the Dawn Yellow, which would be the same color as my original Deer 20 was. That's always a nice color. I think there's a white one. I'm not sure. Go on the website, take a look to see what color options. Some of them, you'll see the colors there, but they may not be available at the time. That doesn't mean it won't be available later, but if they're sold out of a color, then of course it'll just kind of like, it won't let you have the ability to choose it. So double check the color before you place your order. Make sure you have the color that you want. And again, if you're looking for a bigger bike, there's the 26-inch Deer. I have the Step Over 26, the original 26. So they have a 2.0 version of that too. I don't know if I will be getting one of those for review, because essentially it is like the other bike. Except for the added things that we've talked about that's on this bike. It will be on that bike as well, but there'll be a 26 by 4-inch fat tire. And of course the frame will be bigger and everything, and it's a step over, so you're gonna have to swing your leg over the top to get on the bike. Some people like it because they feel it's a sturdier frame, which it typically is, because you got an extra bar there, right? But for me, I've noticed that it's a lot easier to get on a step through than it is to get on a step over bike. So if you have that concern, I would highly suggest looking at the step-through version of these bikes. Anyways, that's about all. I appreciate you sticking around for this review, and if you're looking for one of these bikes, go ahead and use the affiliate link and pick yourself up a Deer 20 or a Deer 26. Hey, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks to Magicycle too for sending the bike out to me for the review.